So then once my boss called me and he said, listen, next 3 months we have to do a business of 10 lakhs a month. We have to do it. So I don't care what you're going to do.
In the entire pyramid of e-commerce, you're like on the top 1% कि भाई हम साल भर में 1,000 करोड़ का धंधा करते हैं, राइट? और 10,000 करोड़ का धंधा करते हैं. Do you even know कि यहाँ जमीन पे क्या होता है?
They are very finicky about cash. We will order from multiple different websites और जो जल्दी पहले आ गया ना तो उनसे एक्सेप्ट कर लेंगे, बाकियों से ना वो हम लोग
Interesting.
right?
Oh, I didn't know this.
So that's
Same here. I mean, that's a surprise to me.
example.
I do that.
For example.
You do that?
I do that.
Oh, what? Why would you do that?
I was given a target of 10 lakhs, but we ended up doing 15 on the third month, and it was like, whoa.
I'm not too sure if you've seen and if you followed how HyperX was built in last 5 years. Okay.
I have.
So पहला rule.
I have seen you. I thought Vishal had quit, right? He doesn't understand कि if you're looking at this cup, right? ये pink color अच्छा है कि बुरा है? इसको ये पता है कि बेचना कैसे है, right? That's Sudhanshu's expertise. Just to set the context, this is, again, we've discussed this multiple times with our attendees, with our panelists, that this is actually going to be a live show where a team of 12 people, right, are going to take one business from 0 to 5 lakhs, right? Now, I don't know about, experts and champs like Vishal, and I don't know about you also, Anu, but Sudhanshu and I have worked with multiple companies together, and we've seen our fair bit of success and failure, right? So, right. So again, our goal is to hit that number, but just in case we don't know, just in case we don't hit that number, it will be a good learning for everyone. So that's the agenda. Dil pe nahi lena kuch bhi, right? And yeah, I think so. It's going to be fun.
I think everybody is, has the same journey. Some are hits, some are, misses. But there's always a learning curve, and everybody is learning every day. Since the time is changing, the landscape is so dynamic that, whosoever has learned something till now is also, every second there's some, new thing that is coming across the platform, or any technology or anything that, you certainly have to be on your toes to be in sync with what everybody else is doing. So I think, everybody's sailing the same boat.
Absolutely. So true.
So true. I agree with that. So it's going to be like this only.
So yeah, we still have time before we begin today's session, right? So, Anu, don't know much about you. आपसे शुरू करते हैं.
So cool. I have been working for the last 7 years now, and I started working with Times of India. I was working as an assistant for Marcom. I was taking care of their lifestyle shows. I was initially involved very much into lifestyle, fashion, and all that, the fashion shows and everything. So I was usually, taking care of the marketing side of the events and all. Then I worked as a brand consultant for a wedding community called Wedwise. I was one of the former team members. When we started the community, we started with the zero. And by the time I left the community, it was a community of more than 1 lakh people on Facebook. And we did multiple events. It was a hardcore wedding community. Then, that was the time when I was still figuring out myself. As in, I was very young when I joined. I started working when I was 19. Still figuring out what I really want to do. Then I started working with a US firm. So it was a B2B business, salon business oriented firm like L'Oreal, how L'Oreal does their PPD, the professional division. So the brand called Mohair. So I started my journey with them as a customer executive person. And after 1 year, I was promoted to brand because I was, taking care of a lot of things. I was the first employee. And I believe that, in my career, I have been very fortunate to start working with Mohair because in that organization itself, I was the first employee. So I got the private limited registration done for the company. I got the import-export certificate. I was the one dealing with customs because the brand was US, right? So stuff has to come from France, US, XYZ. I've hired the HR. So I've been the HR also for the firm. I've hired multiple people. set up a lot of processes, a lot of segmentation, how the brand would look like in India, because the consumers in India is very much different than US or France, wherever, we people were doing business. So we launched the brand with Sushmita Sen. My work was really praised. And I was very happy with the learning and all. I stayed with them for 3 years, and we made a good mark in the market. And then I moved to Brillare. So when I moved to Brillare, I moved from Delhi to Ahmedabad, complete culture shift. And when we started Brillare, it was a B2B company. But I think after me joining after a quarter, we started with B2C. So I was the founding member when it comes to the website. Whatever you see today, B2C, I take a lot of pride in saying that, I was the one who built it when we started it on Magento, and now it has moved down to Shopify.
Wow.
When we started, I remember the first month we did a business of about 12,000 rupees. And my sister was the first customer, because I asked her, I begged her to buy. I said, please buy, please buy. I was like, please buy. I called my friends. I said, guys, if you love me, please buy stuff. Please buy. So all of my friends bought. So to like friends and family. Then I went to the CEO, Jigar. I said, listen, Jigar, you should also buy. He's like, "Mere paise kharch karwane." I said, please, yeah, buy. So everybody bought. So we did a sale of about 12,000. And after 2 years, almost, when I left Brilla, we had two faces. We had Genelia D'Souza. We had a huge range of products. We had Diana Pente doing the advertisement for us and everything. And we exited with a business of 80 lakhs a month on the website just.
Wow.
Wow, that's great. Yeah.
Beautiful. And how long was this? How long did it take?
So initially when we started in April, I would say we started in May, after around my birthday. It started. It was a birthday gift to me by the CEO. He said, now it's your baby, you have to run it. I said, okay.
Awesome.
So we tried few things till September, and it was not working out. It was like, I was also new. So I don't come from digital marketing background at all till the time I joined Brillare, because it was hardcore offline. So then once my boss called me and he said, after September, we were like, kuch nahi ho raha hai, kya karna hai, and all that. We were having a discussion, and he said, listen, Anu, next 3 months, we have to do a business of 10 lakhs a month. We have to do it. So I don't care what you're going to do. So this is the material you have to start learning. He used to give me homework. I used to work in the morning. In the evening, I used to do my homework. I used to read. And next morning, he used to come and ask me questions about what he has given me. So it was like a proper school. So we did this exercise for 20 days. And then after 20 days, I got into a habit. And then I started reading XYZ. I did a Google course. I did a Facebook course. I did everything possible.
Right.
And for 3 months, then we understood, okay, the platform needs to be shifted from Magento to Shopify. There is page optimization to be done, SEO should happen, SAP hona chahiye, XYZ things. And then we placed out everything.
Correct.
And to my surprise, I was not ready that, after 3 months, we will do a business of 15 lakh rupees.
Wow.
I was given a target of 10 lakhs, but we ended up doing 15 on the third month. And it was like, whoa.
Awesome.
So that's the time, we felt very much, I personally felt a lot of confidence in myself, and see how the shift is happening from offline to online.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's all about.
I hope we've not put a too low of a target of 5 lakhs.
No, actually, to my surprise, I've consulted a few different multiple category brands also, because I come from lifestyle. So I have consulted brands who are into apparel. I've consulted brands who are into wellness, health and all. So across multiple category XYZ. But what I've realized, it really depends on the category. It really depends on, the kind of product that you're building. There are two types: a brand can be built and a product can be sold, right? I have always believed in this, and this is what has been my learning. Either you come up with something which is out of the box, which is not every time the case, right? Or make something which is extremely competitive, which is already existing. Correct. That's how you can make it or break it. Otherwise, you're just rounding in circle, and that's about it.
Beautiful. Vishal, you want to add to that? I mean, you sell the most commoditized product in the world.
Yeah, that's what. So I think I can relate to whatever Anu you mentioned. You start from something where you figure out that is it going to work? It's not going to work. And then you suddenly see yourself doing an 80 lakh per month kind of a scene, and kudos, because you've done everything on web, which is really tough, I would say. Uh, Doing it now probably is a little easier because people understand the space. Uh, Years ago, maybe even if you take like 5 years back, this space was like a completely alien planet to put together. So I could relate to it because we've tried to, and we are still trying to move from retail to e-commerce and retail stuff, and it's such a difficult space right now because, I mean, all the questions which Imran you put today, why people buy, why COD works, is it a right space, why we fail? Everything has just, I think if I've seen this in past 5 years happening with us. So, I think probably the most orthodox person in this community today, I'm looking forward because I'm going to learn something which probably I can use from you guys. Maybe ask Imran to, push something where 5 lakh is too small, but yeah, maybe to start off with something.
भाई हमको उम्मीद है कि आप सिखाएंगे, आपको उम्मीद है हम सिखाएंगे, हो क्या रहा?
It has to be both way, isn't it?
Of course. Too good.
Right. So when I was brought in, I was actually brought in for two bases only because that's the next big bet. So vitamins, minerals, supplements, that's the biggest next bet because now that's what people are looking at. In terms of, why would Indians start eating a lot of multivitamins? We're still trying to find that answer, but yes, people have started eating a lot of multivitamins, fish oils, because people have suddenly realized that, especially after the post-COVID scenario, that, okay, you know what, your food is not fulfilling your nutritional needs. Your food is not solving that. So you need something called dietary supplements, which will help you stay stronger and protect you from, diseases. So that's when multivitamins, protein, because protein, again, although you and me, I mean, there are a lot of people who be non-vegetarians, right? We eat a lot of chicken, but the fact is we are not actually processing a lot of protein because a lot of that food is actually getting wasted inside the body. So that's the reason why there are protein supplements, there are, vitamins, there are collagen, there is glutathione, there are so many supplements out in the market which the body needs. Omega-3 fatty acids is one of the in fact, today we were having a very interesting meeting with one of these research agencies that we have. So India, especially India, has the lowest amount of omega-3. Okay, and especially Indians, right? And our omega-3 levels in India are less than 4%.
Wow.
And that is the reason why we are prone to the highest heart diseases, which even lead to sudden cardiac arrest.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah. Right. So that major reason for it is that although we might be eating a lot of fish, but fish se bhi hame exact omega-3 directly we don't get it. So to get that is why we need these supplements. Because these supplements are nothing but raw omega-3 which goes into body and absorbs better.
Right.
So there is something which is in the works. We are working on that. We'll be coming out with a new product, launching it soon, which will help, solve this problem because there is a need to solve this problem. But yes, the bigger challenge right now is definitely there. Why should someone, how many of you over here would be actually eating multivitamins?
I am.
Because is that even a multivitamin?
Not exactly. Someone is definitely eating multivitamins. But yeah.
Harini Sri says
the only thing I have heard of is Zincovit, which is the most popular thing post-COVID.
Yes, Zincovit is a pharma product. It's not a nutraceutical product.
It's not exactly.
Awesome.
So you walk up to your doctor, you tell your doctor, okay, you know what, मैं क्या करूँ? Doctor बोलता है multivitamins, right? But when he says multivitamins, he will either prescribe you a Zincovit or something like a VitaFest or something like A to Z. A to Z is also a multivitamin. He'll give you all of that. But the dietary supplement market is something which is very different than this.
So what I've seen, maybe Shudhanshu, you can help here, is visit to a place like Costco, right? And then there is a whole chamber of multivitamins and those gummy bears and stuff like that. So that also falls in the non-pharma side, right?
Yes, that all falls under the nutraceutical. Yeah, it's called the non-pharmaceutical. The non-pharma is called nutraceutical. That's the term of this technology. So gummies is something you guys have heard a lot. right? Gummies is
Yeah.
part of the nutraceutical division. Then there is biotin. You would have heard about biotin.
Right.
Yes, biotin capsules is there, biotin powder is there. Yeah.
Yes. So
So
biotin
help me
capsule.
understand, Sudhanshu, help me understand. So, earlier before e-commerce actually picked up, there were two kinds of medicines, right? Or two kinds of whatever you want to call it, right? Something that you can buy over the counter only with a prescription, right?
Right.
Something that you could buy without a prescription, right?
Right.
What is muscle blaze into, right? Is that something that,
So muscle blaze is different. Muscle blaze is protein. That's what the
Muscle
gym go on.
Blaze is that protein powder that gym people
That
guys.
gymmers
that
guys.
you guys
No.
Gym guys, yeah.
Right. So let's
You
not
guys.
confuse again. So let's keep muscle blaze aside. Let's talk only the
Correct.
vitamin space, which is true basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
True basics is different. True basics is different.
What
True
is
basics
it
has
that
no protein.
what is it that True Basic sells?
Okay, so True Basics sells your dietary supplements. Dietary supplements being your multivitamins, your fish oil, glutathione, biotin, collagen, okay, omegas, okay, lung detox, liver detox. So we have a product called Lung Detox, which is a clinically researched product which helps smokers.
Wow.
See, in a way, let's be honest. There's too much of smog in the market, right? There
Right.
is smog, there is pollution, and you do smoke, right? There are a lot of people. I mean, I know you also. You smoke like what? You used to smoke practically 2 packs a day. Let's be honest about that. 2 packs
For
a
a
day.
minute, I thought he's telling me.
No, I'm telling Imran. Sorry, not to you. Imran. So Imran, before he got into his vape culture, he used to smoke practically 2 packs a day. Okay, so सब लोग कोशिश करते हैं निकोटिन खा लो ये खा लो वो खा लो निकोटिन पैच खा लो reduce smoking and everything. So we did a different thing. नहीं तो देखो smokers को तुम नहीं छुड़वा सकते.
नहीं छुड़वा सकते. बिल्कुल.
कुछ भी कर लो. Till the time a smoker doesn't decide on his own that he wants to quit smoking,
Correct.
nobody will. Correct.
या तो that needs to happen या बीवी जो है वो ऐसी भयंकर कसम लेकर आए, right? कि भाई छोड़ना पड़ेगा.
Right. So the other way to do this is that, so what we came up with products, Lung Detox, which has been working wonders for us, is it's a simple supplement which you have to take a 1 tablet a day, and it basically it's a cleanser for your lungs.
Wow.
So
this over the counter kind of products or beauty products that require some kind of certification.
They
They need at least a kickstart of 6 months.
Sure,
Agreed.
yes.
Totally.
Agreed, totally.
Oh, wow.
Even if today you want to get a derma certification for your products, it takes anywhere between 2 months, 1.5 to 2 months.
I just got it for my products. It's 2.5 months she took.
Wow.
Guys, you guys are still lucky.
Yeah,
If you get into IT, Wi-Fi, or a battery operated devices, trust me, getting a BIS certificate, it's hell lot of a time. I mean, it can go up to a year.
Oh God.
So
Sudhanshu,
beautiful.
Because eventually,
so guys, I think
I'll
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, I'm kind of deviating here and goes to both, from the multivitamins to beauty products to wherever it requires a lot of, and when it's supported with, a lot of clinical trials and all, from a larger market perspective, right? So for example, me, I would never know that there is a biotin which helps 33% hair fall, whatever, or the liver detox or the lung detox or whatever. My question now is, I'm going to a larger, audience over here. So if you have this and your audience is right now following you, it's easy to talk to them. You get an influencer, he talks and he reaches out to a larger audience. Now, to me as an audience who probably is not in your age bracket, but probably the right person to go for it, because considering my age, I should be the one who would look forward to having this multivitamins, or maybe my wife or somebody who is in my circle is looking for a beauty product. So how do you try to communicate? How do you reach out to these people? Expansion of market is what I'm talking about.
Okay, so currently, of course, primary channel of communication is definitely Facebook and Instagram. No doubt about that. That's the primary channel right now. We have not gone into TV yet. That's primarily because we are not yet billing so much that we feel that a TV ad would be something that will give us an ROI.
Definitely not.
It's too expensive. It won't give an ROI.
Exponential growth.
Yeah, so we are not there. So we are doing that. My target audience, to be very honest, my core TG is between the age group of 30 and 45. That's my core TG. These are the guys who are actually buying this. Primarily, another reason being because my supplements, since they're clinically tested and everyone, they're slightly expensive than a regular clinically tested ingredient. Okay, so since the product is slightly expensive, but Facebook and Instagram, and if I talk about other email, SMS marketing, and these channels, if I talk about these channels, the results have been I've been getting good results. Okay, if I talk from an ROAS point, we are getting an ROAS of almost about 4 on these items.
Interesting.
So yeah, so that's the place where I think currently these are the best places. We have still not hit the top yet, so we are not yet thinking of do we need to other channels also to expand the audience base, because till now we still feel there's too much of top layer which is still pending, which we can capture using Facebook and Instagram.
You haven't reached out to me yet as a strategy,
exactly,
right? And
like,
I'm in your
I have
core
not
group.
reached out to you yet, right? So if I've not reached out to you yet, that means there's still a lot of scope available. So I just need to figure out a way to just reach to you. So do you use Instagram? Do you use Facebook by any chance?
Absolutely.
You do, but you would have not seen my ads till date, right?
Correct.
That could also. So the reason for that is, what I've understood is, in India, a lot of people are still not hunting for multivitamins.
That's where I'm coming to.
Yeah, there are very few
desired. It is not the top interest wherein Facebook can or Instagram can bucket you as an audience, right?
Yep. Because I am not searching for OTC, or as you put it, as nutraceuticals kind of a product. I am still going with whatever the doctor has prescribed.
Of course.
And then definitely I'm not going to search on, maybe I might just go and search what this multivitamins and what are the side effects of it, or things like that.
Right. You're actually wearing an iWatch also. And therefore your data from your health device is also not being pushed to those platforms. I'm actually wearing an Android watch, so my health data is going. So health card targeting, I to see.
Now you will
no,
see
because
So
iPhone as usual will not allow. I mean, I've stopped tracking and all that. So
correct.
So I'm coming to the challenge, on a bigger level, where I think we had this discussion in the group as well, that how do you bypass these challenges which specifically iOS comes in with, and doesn't allow tracking, and ads can be stopped, no pushing in terms of.
We will. In fact, that's a great question. Every e-commerce business had to go through that. I think so. Again, I know Sudhanshu for a very long time. I call him the technical marketer, right? He doesn't understand that if you're looking at this cup, right, ये pink color अच्छा है कि बुरा है, right? At least from the years that I know him, इसको ये पता है कि बेचना कैसे है. Right, that's Sudhanshu's expertise, right? So solving that iOS, it's a few episodes later.
Correct.
But he will get dive deeper into that, right? So coming to understanding the Indian user who actually makes a purchase online, right? I think so. Sir Rithman, right?
Sir.
You connect a buyer from the product, right? So abhi tak product ki baat ho rahi thi. So you're actually the connection between the buyer and the product, which is delivery, right? So what are your thoughts? I mean, what is an Indian e-commerce customer?
तो देखिए ऐसा होता है ना कि मतलब इंडियन ई कॉमर्स कस्टमर का ऐसा हो गया ना, अभी स्पेशली इस टाइम पे जर्नी ऐसी होगी कि मतलब कोई भी सेलर देख लो, अब जैसे न्यूट्रिसिटिकल प्रोडक्ट्स की बात कर रहे थे, जो भी पूरा जर्नी ऐसा हो गया, स्पेशली अभी लास्ट कुछ महीनों से पूरा जो जर्नी हो गया है और पूरा जो बिहेवियर हो गया इन टर्म्स ऑफ एवरीथिंग, द होल बिहेवियर इज सच दैट कि वो 1 से 2 दिन की डिलीवरी के ऊपर पूरा फोकस ही चेंज हो गया, राइट? एंड दे आर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि यार मतलब 1 से 2 दिन में प्रोडक्ट आ गया, एंड वो इसलिए हो गया कि इफ यू आर सीइंग, राइट, कि द होल जर्नी विद स्विगी, इंस्टामार्ट एंड ब्लिंकिट के वजह से, राइट, द होल फोकस हैज बीन शिफ्टेड टुवर्ड्स दैट, राइट, के एंड उसके वजह से वी आर आल्सो टारगेटिंग टुवर्ड्स दैट थिंग, राइट? सो वो एक जर्नी शिफ्ट आ गया जो कोई कॉमर्स वाला कॉन्सेप्ट है. सो एक कॉन्सेप्ट वहां पे आ गया कि लोकलाइज्ड वेयर हाउसेस देने लग गए हम लोग. एक वो जर्नी हो गया कि 1 से 2 दिन में ऑल ओवर इंडिया वाली कॉन्सेप्ट है, वो ट्रेडिशनल 3PL तो रहा नहीं, एक वो है जर्नी. दूसरा चीज ये है कि डिसीजन बेस्ड जो आपका वो सीओडी वाला भी आप लोग कह रहे थे, राइट, कि सीओडी पे आप लोग डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि सीओडी पे एक्सेप्टेंस इतना आता नहीं, राइट? तो उस केस में क्या हो रहा है ना कि आजकल जो कस्टमर्स है ना प्रिडिक्टिव वो ज्यादा चाह रहे हैं, राइट? कि उसमें क्या होता है कि चेकआउट में ही ना कि कस्टमर को आप आइडेंटिफाई कर लो कि कस्टमर वो सीओडी के अप्रोचेबल है कि नहीं। फॉर एग्जांपल आप ऑर्डर कर रहे हो, फॉर एग्जांपल हेल्थ कार्ड में, राइट? और मैं भी ऑर्डर कर रहा हूँ। अब इफ यू आर ए गुड कस्टमर फॉर सीओडी, तो वी हैव दैट टेक्नोलॉजी टू आइडेंटिफाई यू एज ए प्रॉपर सीओडी कस्टमर. So
Right.
you will be shown that वो feature of COD, right? And if I'm not very prone to rejecting that order of COD, so I'll not be shown that COD option.
Beautiful,
So
beautiful point.
automatic.
Beautiful point.
Yeah,
So you guys have the data, right?
yes.
Just for fun, right? Do
हाँ.
कुछ data analysis करते हैं. Do male people have better CIBIL, not CIBIL, but COD ratings?
Civil नहीं.
Right? Or women have
Civil
better COD ratings?
देखो सर, वो वैसे मेल फीमेल का तो नहीं होता. वैसे नहीं होता, मेल फीमेल का नहीं होता. ये तो अलग ही ले गए आप.
Yes.
I think if you ask age groups,
I think you should have asked him pin code. Maybe he would have given you certain ratio.
yeah,
based
pin
on
code or
codes.
age groups. Age group is
Age
something
group
which
is
I
also difficult because not all the websites ask.
बिल्कुल, ये थोड़ा तोड़ी है ना कि ये सीओडी वाला जो ऑडियंस
थोड़ा सा,
राइट?
हाँ, सीओडी वाला जो ऑडियंस है ना, क्या होता है ना कि थोड़ा सा टियर 2 सिटीज, टियर 2 टियर 3 सिटीज में क्या होता है ना, दे आर वेरी फिनिकी अबाउट कैश. वो उन लोग के पास क्या होता है ना, दे आर नॉट वेरी, उन लोगों को क्या लगता है कि अभी भी उनके दिमाग में ऐसा कि इफ वी ऑर्डर फ्रॉम XYZ वेबसाइट, राइट, वी विल ऑर्डर फ्रॉम मल्टीपल डिफरेंट वेबसाइट्स, और जो जल्दी पहले आ गया ना तो उनसे एक्सेप्ट कर लेंगे, बाकियों से ना वो हम लोग
Yeah.
रिजेक्ट कर
interesting.
देंगे.
Happens.
Interesting.
Right?
Oh, I didn't know
So
this.
that's
Yeah, same here. I mean, that's a
so
surprise to me.
no, so because we work with multiple different
Sure,
companies,
sure,
right?
sure.
So for example,
I
I'll
do
give
that.
you for example.
You do that?
I do that.
Oh,
So
what?
I,
Why
If
would you
I
do
need
that?
I'll give you
something urgently, so no, forget about
Yeah.
rural, urban also. So if I
So
need something urgently, I order it from Amazon, I order it from brand's website also, and I will see जो पहले आ जाएगा वो पहले खुल जाएगा. Otherwise brand website से तो वो लोग freebies के साथ कुछ ना कुछ भेजते ही रहते हैं, तो मुझे कुछ नया टेस्ट
My
How many
goodness.
times and how many times has the brand beaten Amazon?
never.
It's
I'm an Amazon Prime customer, so it happens that, you know, even if, I mean, they've never beaten because Amazon, if I'm ordering tonight, it will come in the morning, and the brand box might come. So brand may, the maximum that I've received, and for my brand currently that I'm working for, if somebody is placing an order, we try to, if it is within the city like Delhi, Gurgaon, NCR, we try to deliver it within 24 hours. But that's the max, but nothing beats Amazon.
Nothing beats Amazon. I think so.
Nothing
They
beats
track
Amazon.
their operations, logistics.
Super strong.
Right, Ritman ji, they've
So,
cracked what you have to crack.
So I'll tell
so
you
that's
my
what
story for Amazon. I
Huh.
ordered a phone from Amazon at 12:30 in the night.
Eh.
ठीक है, 12:30 in the night. During that, जब ये great sale लगा था दिवाली,
Yeah.
12:30 बजे रात को I ordered a phone. ठीक है, 9 a.m. in the morning, this guy is standing on my door with my
Beautiful, man.
Yes,
Beautiful.
6 o'clock this guy
Absolutely.
comes to
अरे,
deliver
अभी
the
तक तो-
order,
अभी
and
तक
he's
तो-
ringing the bell, and my mother is shouting at top of the voice. ये 6 बजे किसको बुला लिया है घर पे?
that is
I said, I'm sorry.
how Amazon functions.
अरे
Yes.
स्मॉल बिजनेसेस में तो अभी तक तो प्रिंटिंग लेबल नहीं, वो शिपिंग लेबल नहीं प्रिंट हुआ होता है अब तक.
shipping level नहीं print हुआ होता है.
Because
Exactly.
people also have a cycle. So like I'm working with delivery. So they people say कि 3 बजे से पहले तक 3 बजे तक के ऑर्डर हम प्रोसेस करेंगे सेम डे. बाकी अगले
Yeah.
ऑर्डर 3 बजे के बाद जो भी है वो नेक्स्ट डे प्रोसेस होंगे 10 दिन में.
वो next day process. हाँ,
I
वो थोड़ा सा
know that
physical
we are working
limitation.
with delivery. That's the same issue we have with them also.
तो हम लोग इसका ना क्या करते हैं, तो हम लोग different warehouse में store कर लेते हैं.
पिकर क्या करता है उस पे बाद में आएंगे.
I have worked with picker also.
हाँ, कस्टमर क्या करता है पहले वो
कर
समझ.
लेते हो.
हाँ.
बताओ.
नहीं
तो कस्टमर का ना सर जी,
मैं बता रहा हूँ.
देखो कस्टमर जो आप कह रहे थे ना, जो ये कह रही थी वही करता है सेम चीज. जैसे मान लो डिफरेंट वेबसाइट से उन
I
लोगों ने
feel
ऑर्डर
like
कर
I'm
लिया.
the thief here. I feel like I'm the
तो you अनु आपने क्या किया है ना, आपने हम लोगों के सारे जो एल्गोरिदम्स है ना, जो हमारे दिमाग में चलते हैं वो ब्रेक कर दिए हैं. Because you have not you are definitely not in the age group who would do a COD first. You are not from rural जहाँ पे ये COD का फंडा चलता है.
But I
And
do
now you're saying
COD.
that. Now that's
But
what I'm
I
saying.
do
And
CODs.
और आप और क्या कर रहे हैं कि जगह से और 3 जगह से ऑर्डर करके जो पहला आ गया वो रख लिया. Now that is something breaks all the shackles. You know,
It is, just boom.
So
Just
when you
boom.
are leading an e-commerce business, then you have to do all the possibilities. The first thing, whenever I'm hiring a vendor for logistic, I was sitting with delivery. I said, "सारे use cases दे दो." And they were just looking at my face, "Ma'am, use cases नहीं है." मैंने कहा written में कुछ तो होगा. Then I sat down with the guy. I asked him to write all the use cases. He told me 50, 60. I said, ये 10 भी आप add करो contract में. मैंने कहा ये भी हो सकता है. आप ये भी लिख लो. And I do COD. Whenever I see a new website, I don't pay straight away because it has happened that so many fake websites are there. I ended up paying 3.5K for a denim and it never came. I received a stupid top and my mother just laughed on my face. She said, "Please return it." I've been trying to return it for last 2 years. But it
And what do you do?
I think I'll go to your question, Imran. You know, when you said who are these customers? No, it's funny that right now. I mean, I wouldn't say funny. It's more like a journey that happened. Right now, we're talking about multiple. Like Anu said, कि मैं 3 जगह से order करती हूँ. Like how we're talking about the next day delivery in the morning at 9 a.m. or same day within like 10 minutes. Zepto, what's Zepto started. I'm talking about days where we were working with, Snapdeal used to be the top e-commerce in those days. And I'm talking about days when Amazon was jungly and they were testing waters in India. Still, they were not too sure which model works. I have the COD was one bit. Uske pehle ka jo ek issue tha was connectivity. Right. Okay. So, those days, talking about people using data to order was a big challenge. And I'm talking about before, I think 4G was not across India. Fiber optic to suna bhi nahi tha. Right. So, and that's not too old a story. Okay. And the funny thing which we figured out is, and the reason I was, bol raha tha ki wo jo age bracket hai, wo humne hit kar raha tha. And this age bracket was people who were influencers, who were the decision makers and who were also the consumers. And I'm talking about, gaming and gamers and teenagers who used to, pen drives and micro SD cards, jo sabse zyada, jo boom hua tha with mobile cameras coming in. So we figured out the reason COD was popular was not because of the trust factor, which we see now. Fake websites, ya kya order karenge, kya aayega, pata nahi. The factor was they did not have credit cards.
Oh. Yes.
And that is where COD just boomed. Like the minute COD came in, all that, the first barrier of internet was gone. They did not even bother. They went to cyber cafes and placed orders.
Yes.
Because now there's an option of cash on delivery.
Yes.
That changed a lot in the dynamics. And probably, I'm not too sure, not very confident, but I think Amazon ne sabse pehla card khela tha with this Prime giving 1 year free subscription and you get next day delivery and you have a COD option there.
Yes.
That changed the whole dynamic.
I think so.
That's where the entire spike जो हम बोल रहे हैं आज की तारीख में कि जो ये e-commerce के customers बढ़े हैं was then when and simultaneously 4G happened. So it just happened in a period of I would say not more than 4 or 6 quarters.
Right. So can we say that Amazon is actually an e-tail/retail killer because they are so good?
Killer.
So I think the people, No. So actually, the people, how do you say? The people monetized. I would say they took, they got the right opportunity at the right time. I would say the people have utilized because, as Vishal correctly said that, this is something they introduced. And also, I think demonetization added it to it,
Oh, yeah.
the whole shift of currency from, cash to Paytm. I remember पान वाले भैया, cigarette वाले भैया, छुट्टे पैसे पे ही बात हो रही थी and suddenly I see them accepting Paytms. Sabzi wala vendor was also accepting Paytm and I had a heart attack. I said, I don't have Paytm, he has Paytm, guys.
So I remember वो कौन से वो serials आते थे.
I remember it happened. When Modi announced and it was like, it was nerve breaking, and then everybody got used to Paytm so much, and people became so much comfortable with the digitization of the currency. It was also an added advantage to all the e-commerce platform at that given point of time.
Absolutely, absolutely. I remember, watching television series like Sarabhai and Sarabhai. उसमें अगर वो मेड के पास मोबाइल फोन आ जाता था ना तो मालिक डर जाता था कि भाई ये क्या हो गया. And it's become such a norm that your maid has, a mobile phone. She'll tell you, pay my salary on Google Pay.
Right.
That entire digitization actually, made a lot of people a lot of money. But I mean, it's absolutely changed the way, e-commerce is operating. We also have Tanvi over here. Tanvi, what are your thoughts? I mean, you've been so Tanvi, introduce yourself and share what are your thoughts on the entire curation and fashion goods and all of that. Go for it.
Sure. So I started with Closet Trunk in 2019. Just out of college, I was just like, okay, this is something that seems that will have a lot of potential in India. And we started off as a styling company. So what we essentially were doing was that our customers used to come to us. They used to answer a bit of a questionnaire, talk about their style preferences. And we had stylists on board who used to curate these boxes with like an entire outfit for our users and send this across to them. But then, of course, 2020, COVID happened and styling was the last thing anyone ever thought of at that particular point of time. So while doing that, we realized our actual strength was not styling, but our actual strength was that users were exploring a lot of new brands with us. So they were not getting those brands that are listed on the major e-commerce websites on the first few pages, and they realize that, okay, these brands are really cool, their quality is something that's really exceptional, and the prices are also not as expensive as one might have thought of looking at the quality. So that's when we pivoted and we started curating these lifestyle boxes, and we now do beauty and fashion boxes. And what we do is we do these quarterly curations with our style. We still have stylists on board, but they help us look for brands and they curate these boxes, and we have beauty experts as well. So now our USP is the fact that once a user orders us, they are able to explore, let's say, 4 to 5 different brands in just one box. And we make sure these boxes are extremely, extremely affordable so that everyone from tier 1, tier 2 cities actually get to try these out as well.
Got it.
So, I mean, to answer your question in terms of COD, yes, I mean, we have
just come on that in a second. I have one question.
Yes.
Fashion, at least I thought people, or rather, people who buy fashion, especially women, right? They want to buy something unique.
Right.
Right. And you're doing something which is completely opposite के मैं आपको non-unique बेचूंगी.
Right.
ये रहा डब्बा, ये डब्बा 5,000 और लोगों को जाएगा, which completely makes it non-unique at the start of the conversation. Right. How did that go for you?
So, that was actually something that even I thought that might not work for us, because when we started this entire thing, I was like, okay, we're just selling this one dress to everyone, and how are people going to react to it? But when we are talking and we're telling people through our story that, hey, that we have actually curated this using a stylist who are on board with us, and we do give them 2-3 options. Sometimes it's like a color option or sometimes it's a style option. But the entire scenario comes into is that, hey, the stylists are here to help you really choose this outfit, and they have made this outfit depending upon what's actually trending, like what colors are trending right now. For just to give you an example, right now for our winter box, we did like a lilac shacket. First of all, shacket is something that wasn't really known to people. Then the color lilac is very trending. Then what we did was we played around with the content. So our stylist, when we were shooting this entire thing, our stylists were really very we're making sure that when we're shooting this content, we're actually showing it as a very versatile thing. Because, for example, some women, they prefer just wearing like a tube top under their shacket during winters, but some prefer to like cover it up. So we made sure that we have that sort of versatile part of it. And the fact, I guess, that we made sure that, and people got an assurance, was that these are actually curated by people who understand style, who understand fashion. So that was something that really helped us out over there.
Can I say that this was for lazy women?
I would say not lazy. I would
or rather, it's not lazy. Yeah, wrong choice of words. But let's say it's just a layer of convenience. Some expert has selected it, right? I just need to look at it. Acha laga ke nahi laga, acha laga to I'll buy it off, right? Is that the layer of convenience that you're adding?
Definitely, one is the layer of convenience, and then one is also the layer of just staying on point with the trend. That I know that, oh, if this influencer is wearing it and she looks amazing, I want that color. I want this particular jacket because it's gonna look good on me. I know that as well.
Does that really work in India? I mean, meko chahiye, right? Meko chahiye.
Oh yes.
I feel it does. I feel if
It
you
does.
have like a role model, let's say, you look at it, you want it. Like, come on, look at like all the, let's say, brides. Mujhe wo Manish Malhotra wala lehenga chahiye hi chahiye.
Correct.
Right? That's not, I mean, that's like a really big designer. So, I mean, I'm not, that comes on a different league. But you do save, let's say when you're on Instagram, you save those style inspirations. You keep those things on site, Pinterest, Instagram, because you want those things. You desire for those things. So I think it does play well for us.
I mean,
I
just
think
to
it
add
very
on
well
this,
works in gamer, right? Like if you look at gaming, and if when a gamer says, I wear HyperX headset because I can hear footsteps, you don't need to do anything more. That's the deal done, and then it just sells. So वो होता है. I think that's हम लोग जो influencers की बात करते हैं. I've seen gaming influencer top any influencer across categories. I mean, talking about the commodity and the IT product line. So बहुत अच्छे से चलता है.
Got it. Beautiful. Sudhanshu, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was just saying, so I was just adding into what Tanu was saying. So what I realized when we were talking about is, so curation and everything is there, no doubt about it. But what I feel is you have more of a story to sell.
Got it.
The content piece that you have actually created, that's a story.
Yeah.
And when a consumer sees a story, that is where he or she, that is where they connect really well.
Correct.
Exactly.
So I think that's where, it's playing really well.
Sudhanshu, help me with this. जब भी अपन वेबसाइट पे प्रोडक्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन लिखते हैं, right? It's nothing else but a story, right? Something that explains the product. Do text stories sell or do image stories sell?
So these days, I would say it's a combination of both, right?
Okay.
And frankly speaking, there is no healthy combination that I can say कि हाँ यार 50% text and 50% image होगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है. In some cases, even more images can sell, but it all depends upon what kind of a product it is and what is the problem it's solving.
Got it.
Okay, there are certain products which are so well known in the market. In those products, even if you just add 2-3 lines, you're sorted because people know the product, so they'll buy it as such.
Correct.
Certain products which people don't know. Again, I'll just take a very simple example of. I'll take an example from my industry only. Keratin.
Sure.
Okay. All the women here, they know keratin in and out, no doubt about it. They know keratin shampoo and everything.
Their husbands also know keratin.
Fantastic, sir. Of course, they know. Now here's the tricky question. How many of you know about keratin tablets?
Oh, paisa.
So I know it's full on.
I'm totally into hair, beauty, makeup, everything. You have to just be there, out there, read everything.
So keratin tablets is a complicated product. Complicated in terms of because very few people know what is it. Now everyone, like you said, husbands, wives, women, men, बच्चे सबको keratin shampoo तो पता है, वो तो घुसा हुआ है. But the moment तुम keratin tablet की बात करते हो ना, people will go like, ये क्या है?
Right.
We don't even know that category. We don't even know that product.
Correct.
But it's the same thing, keratin, right? And a lot of people don't even know this. Science is our hair is 90% keratin.
Yes, it's a protein.
It's a protein, correct? So they don't. So अगर ऐसा कोई complicated product मुझे बेचना है, right? That is where maybe text and जो images है, the content, the story would be much longer. Why? Because first you'll have to educate the customer.
Correct.
You'll have to inform the customer. What is it? Right. Why is it good for you?
Got it.
Why should you take it?
So what you're trying to say is that either it's so unique or it's a commodity. Right?
Exactly.
Right. If it's unique, it needs a lot more imagery. If it's a commodity, then basic images and price discounting and all of that would work.
Exactly.
So if allow me, I can give you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please go ahead, Vishal. I'll go after.
Okay,
please.
So, all right. So I think a little different take here, Imran, because if I have to tell you, say pen drives, if I give you any amount of tech in terms of text as well as images, it doesn't matter to you. You're not even going to read or even view those multiple sub images around it because it's just a pen drive. Come on, what are you going to do with your pen drive?
Correct.
I don't need to teach you.
Right.
But if I go, say, 11 years ago or 15 years ago when we started Kingston in India, that was just a office accessory which you would use for storing your Excels and Words and PowerPoints. That is it.
Correct.
Now, when I'm removing the e-com part of it over here, and I'm saying now when I have to put this thing out from an office and tell you that you can actually store music onto it and you can plug it in your car stereo. That requires a complete different shift. Now it doesn't matter you put text or you put images.
Yeah.
As far as you're able to tell that there's a different usage to this product.
Correct.
Then like what Sudhanshu said, there is no hard or a written down rule कि
Right.
आपको 50% text डालना है या इतना image डालना है, infographics डालना है, video डालना है. It doesn't matter. As far as जब आप दिखाना चाहते हो, अभी आज की तारीख में when I have to sell my pen drive, I don't need to do anything. But the minute I say, okay, this pen drive has a 256-bit encryption and it saves your data from getting hacked, I'll have to do probably n number of things to pass on this message.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
अब मुझे text में भी देना पड़ेगा because what is 256-bit?
Correct.
How do I store it? How do I enter my password? What if I enter 10 times wrong and it gets formatted? So ये सब चीजें जब आती है, and then again, it doesn't matter of how complicated it is. The more complicated you sound, the more information you have to give. The more simple you make it, it plays it way. I mean, the way Anu is saying or Tanvi is saying, it depends on product to product, and there has to be a story.
Got it.
People now consume story rather than your text and data sheets and whatever case studies we put in.
That's it.
That's actually a wonderful line you said. That now consumers are actually looking for a story. They don't actually care what's the product actually doing. What they know is, guys, if there's a story, people will love it.
People
and if
will
they love the
with it.
story, if they connect with it, then they are for sure buying your product.
Sure, going to buy it. Absolutely.
So, okay, fair enough. Last two questions I think so for the evening is, one is, let's say I'm a very good storyteller, right? I can wave my hands and I can, do whatever it takes to tell a good story. But there are still e-commerce companies which don't work out, right? Can nahi bik pata. Again, I'm going to go left to right. Anu, what is your explanation of what's the top one reason according to you that, or top three reasons according to you why e-commerce companies would sell in bullet points?
Would sell? I'm sorry, I lost you in the last part. Would?
Which don't work out, which shut down, just in bullet points.
So first is the people are not able to whenever there's a story, there's an idea, it's always there, right? It's always in the head. So the conception, it has to be explained in the similar fashion how strongly you feel about the brand. So the explanation has to be in the language, in the visualization, wherein the person who's at the receiving end should understand it in the similar fashion. So a lot of brands fail to do this. Second of all, how I see it, lot of new brands that are launching try to do things which are out of the box. But what people really fail to understand is that, you don't necessarily have to do out of the box, because when you're coming with something new, people really don't have an understanding. So you have to give them the time, the energy, and the kind of, the whole shebang that you have to do has to be really thought through. And people, usually startups, new brands, doesn't have that kind of money, that kind of energy, and that kind of bandwidth to spend on, right, to stick around. Third is, people make a lot of promises when it comes to websites, when it comes to product. The product is of not that quality. And secondly, and very important, the delivery of the product. When you say a 3-day delivery, it has to be a 3-day delivery, otherwise your customer is gone.
Got it.
So these are the 3 pointers which I feel.
Beautiful. Rithman sir, what are your 3 reasons why e-commerce business, you've seen so many businesses, right? You are supply chain for so many businesses. What are the most 3 reasons why e-commerce businesses shut down? Small, medium, large, whatever.
Yes. So here, the top 3 reasons, if they fail, right? First, even if they start niche, all right, they has to be very clear or purpose driven, right? until unless they are purpose driven, and nowadays, especially 2022, right, it's very hard to make a difference, right? 2020 में बात अलग थी, because that was a very easy market to start.
Yeah.
Abhi, they have to be really purpose driven to connect with the generation Z, right? If you see all the brands that are coming out, right? There are plant-based protein or anything that is coming out, right? The new market will not connect, right? एक तो ये हो गया, right? Your story has to be really purpose driven to connect with the new brands, right? The second thing is you have to execute very well, right? एक वो हो गया, right? Until unless you execute very well, वो आपको कभी वो नहीं हो पाएगा. तीसरा ये हो गया कि बहुत लोग बहुत सारी चीजें प्रॉमिस कर देते हैं in terms of customer satisfaction, कि हम लोग customer satisfaction में यार बहुत कुछ we are customer centric and ये सारी चीजें कर लेते हैं, CSAT स्कोर पे फोकस कर लेते हैं. कोई नहीं करता, ठीक है? जो आप देखते हो ना कि बहुत सारे ब्रांड्स रातों रात, आई थिंक एक साल में वो हो जाते हैं. If you take care of take name of few brands that we work with, right? For example, Wow Skincare हो गए हैं, Man Matters हो गए, for example, right? But if you see other brands, right, in the similar category, they have started in the same time frame of time, but they failed because they are not that fanatic about the customer centricity, right? Because they've actually delivered in terms of their end customer, right?
Got it.
So you have to be very fanatic about your end customer. यार customer आपका क्या चाहता है,
बिल्कुल.
right? कि अगर एक customer भी fail हो गया ना, you have to be very fanatic about your end customer, right? So you have to be deliver in that sense.
Got it. Awesome. Very well said. Very well said. Tanvi, what are your thoughts? 3 bullet points.
I think one would be just targeting the wrong audience. If you don't know them, you can't target them. If I'm curating a makeup box for 999, if I'm trying to target someone who buys an Estee Lauder, they're not going to buy my product. It's simple as that.
Right.
One is, I would say that I think this point was already covered, but not listening to what the customer really wants. Just trying to sell the product and not listening to unko chahiye kya at the end of the day. You can't just push anything that they don't want. And I guess lastly, I'm still very new in this business, but I think trying a lot and not focusing on what your core is. If let's say that your particular core is selling, just out of the blue, vegan cruelty-free products, you're just trying to focus on all the other things in the world, but not telling the story that this is my product and this is why you need to buy this at this point of time.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Very well said. Sudhanshu, you want to share your thoughts?
Okay, so more or less everyone has covered those points, but I think the most important thing why these businesses fail is, to an extent, is they forget how to actually tell their story and they forget how to keep it simple. That is where businesses go wrong. They just overcomplicate things for themselves. They overcomplicate things for the consumer, and because the consumer gets in a loop of complicated content, complicated text, उसको समझ में नहीं आता वो क्या दे रहा है. बिल्कुल. Correct. So I think that is one primary reason. You just need to make it very simple. Now, let's be honest. You have 3 seconds with a consumer on the attention span that a consumer gives you on Instagram or Facebook is 3 seconds.
Wow.
It's not more than that.
Beautiful.
You cannot.
And you've got to at least hold them for those 3 seconds.
Absolutely.
So you can't complicate it. You have to have a simple, clear-cut message. If it's not simple, if it's not to the point,
You've lost
that customer. You've lost the customer, right? And yeah, I think that is one of the biggest reasons. And after that, what everybody has mentioned, then I actually agree with all of them. I have seen that even in I've seen that in other companies also where I've worked, whether it was Kidzania or whether even when we were in ADOS Labs or when we were in other places, it has always been that we overcomplicate the story. We go ahead and we try to do, we think that acha customer ko ye bhi bata dete, wo bhi bata dete, instead of thinking about yaar isko simple rakho. We forget that, and that's where we go wrong.
Beautiful. Vishal, what are your thoughts? Why do e-commerce? Have you seen? I mean, you're in the entire pyramid of e-commerce, you're like on the top 1%. कि भाई हम साल भर में 1,000 करोड़ का धंधा करते हैं, right? और 10,000 करोड़ का धंधा करते हैं. Do you even know कि यहाँ जमीन पे क्या होता है?
नहीं बाबा, so पैर तो जमीन पे रखने ही पड़ेंगे. So मतलब I'm not too sure if you've seen and if you followed how HyperX was built in last 5 years. Okay.
I have
So
seen,
पहला rule.
I have seen you. This is for everyone. I thought Vishal had quit. And he had quit Kingston and he started this new gaming company called HyperX,
Okay.
gaming gear company. When I met him a few months later, when I spoke to him a few months later, I was like, HyperX kaise chal raha hai? Like, bahut badhiya chal raha hai. I was like, what got you started? Like, what got you started? I'm still with Kingston only. I'm like, so it's not your company. I used to see this guy's posts and videos and all of that. He was promoting as if it is his own company. Believe me, it came across like that. And fantastic job at that, man. Fantastic job at
So I
that.
think that's so. I'll go back to your words. So when you say नीचे क्या होता है, तो HyperX में हमने actually वही किया. We stayed completely at the bottom. We did not speak to anybody who was not a gamer.
Right.
And I personally played games with that group
Wow.
of college goers. And I purposely tried to make a fool out of myself, saying कि बाबा तू मुझसे अच्छा जानता है. And trust me, guys, my learning and to be really honest on this, कि हम क्या करते हैं, when you say why people fail, it's not just e-commerce. It's possible with every other business. It's even your kirana store. You do this simple. We call it as overconfidence. मेरा product है, मैं सब कुछ जानता हूँ. What we actually realized is कि वो जो gamer था, and I'm talking about a kid who is in 8th standard, he comes to me and gives me कि बाबा आप जो ये बोल रहे हो ना ये गलत है.
Wow.
So I'm talking about something which is a dual chamber headset. Okay. We actually sold, and this was our biggest USP across the globe. It became like a hit. अब जब हम डुअल चेंबर की बात करते थे तो हम लोग सारा टेक्निकल स्पेस बताते हैं कि इसमें डुअल चेंबर, इधर बेस ऐसा होगा, ट्रेबल ऐसा होगा, सब कुछ. दिस बंदा कम्स एंड सेज सर आप जो ये बोल रहे हो ना, आप सिर्फ इतना बोलो कि आप सीएस को जब खेलोगे तो वो बंदा स्नाइपर से कहां से शूट कर रहा है उसकी आवाज आपको सुनाई देगी. बस दैट वाज द किलर. नाउ दैट इज वेयर द प्रॉब्लम इज. तो हम लोग सारी चीजों पे इतना फोकस कर लेते हैं कि यार मुझे ये परफेक्ट करना है, मुझे ये परफेक्ट करना है, मेरा ये यूएसपी मैं सबसे अच्छा जानता हूँ, और हम उसी को लेके बैंड बाजा बारात निकाल के निकल पड़ते हैं. But then what happens is in today's world, your audience is much more knowledgeable than you because जो आप बता रहे हो उसका आगे के 10 स्टेप का वो स्टडी करता है. And it is true for everything. Like when I talk about a pen drive which is a 256 जो मैं बता रहा था कि 10 बार में फॉर्मेट कर लेगा, what question he asked? सर 10 बार में अगर मैं, आप बोल रहे हो कि अगर मैंने गलत डाल दिया तो भूल गया, फॉर्मेट हो गया, मैं पासवर्ड भूल गया तो क्या, मतलब बस तू पासवर्ड भूल गया तो डेटा फॉर्मेट, कुछ नहीं कर सकते, नो बडी कैन रिकवर इट, मतलब फिर मैं आपका पेन ड्राइव क्यों खरीदूं? ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. तो so what happens is the problem which I see is we don't put ourselves in our customers' shoe and say कि अगर मैं इसको ये बता रहा हूँ सामने, like what Sudhanshu said and what I think Tanvi and even everybody said कि हम हमारा प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हैं, but is it something which is also deselling or creating a negative impact about it because I'm overselling it?
Got it.
I don't need to oversell.
Correct.
I don't need to go overboard and promise everything under the sky. मैं कल आपको डिलीवरी दे दूंगा और उसके लिए मैं अगर मेरा कॉस्ट ऑफ डिलीवरी इज किलिंग माय प्रॉफिट, व्हाई डू आई नीड टू प्रॉमिस इट? तो ये सारी चीजें होती हैं. एंड वन थिंग व्हिच आई हैव फिगर्ड आउट इन पास्ट फ्यू इयर्स स्पेसिफिकली विद जो हम स्टार्टअप्स की बात करते हैं, एंड so much of passion, everybody is so passionate about it. They believe कि बॉस यही राइट है, बट नहीं सर, थोड़ा आप एक स्टेप पीछे जाइए, think about it. अगर यही राइट है, are you ready with your scalable model?
Right.
कल अगर आपने, like what Anu said, from that 12,000 to 80 lakhs, if you're not prepared for it, आप कितना भी, मतलब you've done fabulous, you've literally killed everybody in your competition, but आप खुद तैयार नहीं हो to bring yourself to that level कि suddenly I'm selling so much.
Correct.
Right.
All my matrix will go for a toss.
Correct.
My shipping costs, my packaging costs, my returns, my transactional costs
Happened.
of even simple things like your gateways. That
Yeah.
will crash. How are you going to handle it? And that is where people start getting, your CX goes for a toss.
Correct.
bad mouth starts, people will troll you all over your social media, all your Facebooks and Instagrams, जितना आपने build किया है will start crashing immediately.
Right.
The
So
same thing happened with
scalability जब
Stock by
सोचते नहीं
Love.
तब होता है.
Yeah, the same thing happened with Stock by Love. It was a apparel company.
Yeah.
It was booming like
Yeah.
anything, and then I don't know
What were they
where, out
selling?
of
What
nowhere,
were they
all the
selling? What were they
influencers,
selling?
they were selling clothes, apparels,
Okay.
and they were doing
Yes.
so well. And I was a customer also. And after 2.5 years, we see influencers posting that the founder is not paying their money and all that. It
Oh,
got
yes.
closed. It was like a huge campaign people made, and I was like, dude, this is like, and the
So
website is shut.
it's interesting thing that you picked up this case. I actually studied those guys for some time to understand what went wrong.
Yeah.
That is an exact example of Stock by Love. Is they told their story, okay, and just what Vishal said, they got the story right. The consumer
Yeah.
started loving them, but they forgot that when the consumer starts loving you, he needs more of your attention. Attention dena bhul gaye. They forgot they have to scale. They forgot that they need to figure out their inventory issues, right? Figure out the delivery issues, and that's where everything went for a toss.
Beautiful.
Correct.
Beautiful.
That's where everything
Snapdeal,
went for a toss.
sir, Snapdeal, what happened to them?
Yeah.
They were like at the top, right? And they
Yeah.
had everything right. They got free charge. Like they have their financials ready, right? I mean, all your CODs, all your cash loyalty programs, everything was set. But it just got into their head. We are the biggest. We can't be wrong. And then see what happened.
True. Agreed.
Done it. I have a
Just
few
because he took the name of Snapdeal, I'm just so surprised. How is Snapdeal even planning an IPO? I really don't know how they are planning an IPO.
I was also surprised. I was like, what is happening? Can I see my name next? Can I see my name on that? Please.
Awesome. I have a few more questions left, one from me and a few from our attendees.
Yeah.
My last question for the evening is, how much money do you think an e-commerce business needs to reach a stage where they validate it? कि हाँ भाई ये अब मेरे को धंधा करना है, right? वो पॉइंट पे पहुंचने के लिए तन्वी कितना पैसा डालना चाहिए? मतलब your family has 3 listed companies in the BSC, so wrong question for you. but
No,
yeah, go
but
for it.
I see personally, like just speaking from my personal experience, because I'm very new with this. So when I proposed this idea to my father, like because obviously he helped me out with the initial funding of it, it was something he had not heard about, and he was like, "Are you sure this thing will actually work?" I mean,
आपको मतलब वो टिपिकल वाला मिला कि नहीं? अरे सू करे छोकरी, ऐसा कुछ मिला आपको?
No, he was just like, just prove it to me if it can work. While I was in university, so I did like a small project and it did show some results. So initial funding that I got was for 5 lakhs. So that's where I started. And then I built the entire thing from there by myself.
Got it. So for you, that 5 lakh rupees was the corpus, and you said के या तो मैं ये पैसे को पूरा आग लगा दूंगी या तो मैं इसका कुछ बना दूंगी.
Exactly. I was like, this is something that either I'll take it and I'll show it that, yeah, like I'll be able to scale this. There is potential in this thing and I'll put in everything. Or then if not, then, well, my chance is lost.
Awesome. Anu, what are your thoughts?
I agree. I mean, I'm aligned with Tanvi on this. So when I was doing unit economics for my brand, for my own brand, which I will probably launch in a while. So when I was doing, I said, let's start with one product, but I thought that, I should do a combo since I come from the industry. I said, ek aur kar lete hain. So when I did it for one, it was 5 lakhs only to begin with. And when I did it for 2, it was 7 lakhs. So yeah, that's about.
Got it. Sudhanshu, what you've started Siddhi Ki Chai recently. How much?
We guys started with 10% of what these guys are talking about. We started this business with 50,000.
I love you.
50,000 रुपए से हमने स्टार्ट किया है और वो पूरा का पूरा 50,000 रुपए गया है just to buy inventory.
Yeah.
ठीक है. Shopify website सारा on the scratch on the ground मैंने बनाया है. ठीक है, पूरा का पूरा उसका जो ग्राफिक डिजाइन करना था, वीडियो करना जो था, हाँ बेसिक प्लान शॉपिफाई का लिया, उसमें जो बैनर्स बनाने थे सेटअप करना था पूरा किया. ठीक है. For the first 3 months we didn't spend anything on Facebook ads or anything. ठीक है. Yeah, 50,000 से स्टार्ट किया था. So I think there is no right आंसर कि 5 लाख चाहिए, 1 लाख चाहिए, 50,000 चाहिए.
Depends from
Yes.
category, product also.
Again,
बहुत
my question was that when is that, what's that breaking point, you know, okay, boss, I've found my numbers, right? इसको मेरे को आगे लेकर जाना है, या बॉस नहीं हो रहा है, बस हो गया, right? वो नंबर गया है, right? So Sudhanshu, for you that number is $50,000 that I would,
and that calls for a chai, Sudhanshu.
yeah.
Done, sir.
Zindagi chai.
Zindagi chai.
Awesome. Done. Vishal, what's that number for you?
Boss, you're asking a wrong person.
He's like, I'm the wrong person.
Yeah, I mean,
let's
honestly,
say you had to start, right? Again, like
so देखो boss, फंडा सेम है, सिंपल है. पहले तो मैं मतलब I though being a marketer and build brands all my life, I would never spend money on ads. I will never spend money on building a brand first. Okay, पहले तो जो fundamentals है वो सही करो. मतलब अगर मैं जानता हूँ कि मैं दिन के अगर 50 ऑर्डर ले सकता हूँ तो मुझे सिर्फ 50 चाहिए. अब वो 50 के लिए जितना पैसा चाहिए उतना मैं डालूंगा.
got it.
वो that could be a factor of whatever your inventory you're having or your logistical strengths you have. उससे ज्यादा मुझे नहीं चाहिए, because अगर 50 से ज्यादा 51 भी हुआ तो कहीं ना कहीं पे मुझे हिट होगा.
Got it.
Right. That's what we also did with मतलब जितनी ब्रांड्स के साथ भी मैंने किया है, पहले डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सेट करो बॉस.
Got it.
ऐड करके लोगों को बुला लेना is far more simple than actually having taking care of your internal parameters of your logistics, your inventories, your packing, even your person who's going to carry material from one department to the other department. It could be virtual, but still.
Got it.
तो और जितना हो सके start slow, keep testing waters, because that is where you will realize कि 50 में जो problem नहीं हुई, but 50 to 75 or 50 to 70 में my problems have escalated more, because that again I'll go back to the scalability वाला bit. कि जब वो scalability issues हमको समझ में नहीं आता है कि ये कहाँ से ये चीज आ गई, जो छोटे numbers दिखते हैं वो suddenly बड़े हो जाते हैं, तो तब problem होती है.
Got it.
So, I don't think like Sudhanshu said, there's no right or a wrong number to it.
Yeah.
You have to have a little bit of whatever passion you're carrying with you. Thoda finance understanding is literally
very important
to make your Excels. So and Excel plays a very big role.
So can someone actually flip the question and says कि अच्छा capital छोड़ दो, investment छोड़ दो, मैं 50 products बेचने की कोशिश करता हूँ. अगर मैं ये बेच लिया, right, और मैं profitable हूँ, मैं इसको scale up कर लूँ, right, और अगर मैं 50 नहीं बेच पाया, right, then I'll kill it.
50 अलग-अलग product या एक product को 50?
Talking about deliveries,
quantity wise. So let's say I want to sell these mugs, right? So I'll buy 50 mugs, right? And I'll see whether I can sell it off at a profit. If I can,
you need to break this. Like जैसे अनु ने किया था, अगर आप वैसा कर रहे हो 50 बेच रहे हो तो 50 तो आपको वैसे बिक जाएंगे.
Yeah.
No, I didn't understand.
Okay, so like what Anu did, कि sister को बोल दिया,
yeah.
So
I mean,
you need to take off that part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful, awesome.
Like let's say you have got an inventory of, let's say, 50 mugs, right? Now you're going to list them on the website and everything. Now you have your cash flow ready with you कि यार ये 50 यूनिट में ले आया हूँ, इसमें मेरा इतना खर्चा है, ये इन्वेंट्री का खर्चा है, ये सर्विसेज का खर्चा है, मेरे पास इतने पैसे बच रहे हैं, राइट? ठीक, तो अब आपको क्या करना है कि अगर 50 बेचने तो 50 तो आपके रिश्तेदार हम लोग खरीद लेंगे, हमारे वन के फाउंडर ग्रुप से हमें भेजोगे, हम ही खरीद लेंगे खुशी खुशी में, चलो इमरान ने कहा है
वो बेचना गोल नहीं था ना.
हाँ, अब अगले जो 50 बेचने हैं उसके लिए आप क्या करने वाले हो, that is what, and whether what all activities you will be doing to sell those 50, उसकी costing क्या है, and whether you are able to make money or not, then only it makes sense.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct. Absolutely. And then you need to do one step at a time. जैसे अगर आपने बोला कि ये WhatsApp group में whatever you're doing is also in your investment. चाहे free है, पैसा नहीं लगा. But the minute you get into Instagram, it's okay. Now Instagram, I'm going to try. My target is कि इतने पैसे मुझे 100 पीस बेचने.
Right.
या 10 पीस बेचने. You'll need to do your own mathematics and financials.
You have
then
to
you move to other ones.
Yeah, your cost per acquisition, you have to calculate ke you are expecting a customer acquisition cost of, let's say, 20 rupees or let's say 50 rupees. But when you actually ran that, you're getting a CAC of 70 rupees. So it's not a sustainable.
Something is wrong. Yeah.
Something is wrong.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think so. It's late for everyone. I'll just
Yes.
ask the few questions for that we've got from our attendees. One is Harini Sri. The question was, I have a doubt, sir, why most big pharmaceutical industry or companies don't use commercial ads, for example, Amway? Sudhanshu, this question was addressed to
So
you.
Amway is not a pharmaceutical
Not a
company.
pharmaceutical.
It is not. So let me just clear that. And why pharmaceutical companies don't advertise in India is that's primarily because the law doesn't allow them.
Yes.
So
Correct.
pharmaceutical companies are not allowed to, go out into ads of certain products. Okay, they're not allowed. They are controlled. There are very few products which have whitelist. For example, a Crocin or a Decol Total, which are pharma products. They have a whitelist, but that is not. That is just pharma ke liye, that is just the tip of the iceberg.
It's
The
something
entire
which you
iceberg
can
is something
do
else.
without a prescription also,
Exactly.
or hygiene,
So
or
that's the
something.
reason why. Yeah. So that's the reason why they don't advertise. It's the law in India. You can't. You
Got
can't
it.
even do surrogate advertising for pharma products. That's
Got
the
it.
biggest challenge over here.
In fact, I don't know if anyone knows, but lawyers and doctors are also not allowed to advertise themselves. In their
CAs.
individual capacity, they cannot advertise, but you will see a Practo as a platform can advertise.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Same with chartered accountants.
yeah,
Yeah,
same
even chartered
for-
accounts cannot advertise.
Right. So that's that. One question to all the panelists: what is the first and basic mistake you all did? How did you guys react at the moment?
I like this guy. Somebody is trying
Yeah.
to learn from our mistakes, huh?
Yeah. I'll tell you my first mistake. I think so. My first mistake was that I asked for a very low salary. Right. When I actually Zapak was my first job. Corporate का घंटा कुछ नहीं पता था कि
Language.
क्या है, कितने पैसे मिलने चाहिए, क्या होने चाहिए. I was happy with the 25,000 rupees that I was making at my gaming cafe. I reached Zapak's office and I met the CEO Rohit Sharma, and he liked me, I liked him, and my boss Sai Shri, she asked me, Imran, how much salary you want? So I had gone with the math ki, I make 25,000 rupees working 15-16 hours a day. I'm happy making over here wohi 8 ghante mein. So I said I'm happy with 25k. Within 5 minutes I had my offer letter, signed it. A few months later I got to know that the peon in our office had a higher salary than mine. So that's my biggest mistake. Anyone wants to answer that? It's late, so we'll keep it to one person.
I can give a lot more.
There's a lot more to
with 22 years of working life, I think I've done a lot mistake, and so if this is from coming from not from an entrepreneur kind of a side or a startup or something, but more from a corporate side. Something which I missed and I really repent of not doing is keeping in sync with the changing world. And that's what I realized in last 7-8 years, that probably the early years when I thought, okay, this is my strength, relationship marketing and direct marketing and all of that, world was moving much faster than I kept pace with it. So I needed to do that. So शायद कहीं पे वो लग रहा है कि शायद वो करना चाहिए था. We feel very comfortable जो हम करते जा रहे हैं. सुबह उठे, ये किया, वो किया, अचीव किया, बहुत सारे अवार्ड्स लिए, अच्छा लगा. बट एंड ऑफ द डे वी रियलाइज कि अरे शायद ये चीजें हैं जो मैंने नहीं सीखी. And world is now far ahead of me in that particular domain. So
got it.
That's one thing which I miss.
One last question for you only, Vishal. In fact, this is the question that I asked you. How is the pen drive market in this emerging cloud industry?
Oh my God. Okay. So I have answered this question not less than 100 times. And मुझे ये थोड़ा सा लगता है कि every time when I talk about pen drives, ये question आएगा ही, because हम क्या कर रहे हैं, as I said, in my context to why people fail is similarly from the consumer side, or from when I look at कि ये वाला business आगे करेगा क्या, हम नहीं सोचते कि इसका simultaneous effect क्या हो रहा है. When you say cloud, okay, you already answered my question.
Yeah.
Pen drive is what? It's one of the storage device. ठीक है, तो मैं डेटा पेन ड्राइव में स्टोर करूं या सर्वर पे स्टोर करूं, मेरी मेमोरी यूज हो रही है, राइट? चाहे वो रैम है, चाहे SSD है, चाहे पेन ड्राइव है, everything uses that silicon chip which we make globally. Okay, so that is something which we are already present.
Sure.
And just to give you a reference to numbers, out of every device that processes data, and I'm talking about every device that processes data, it's not just the PCs or the phones,
Sure.
even your Google glasses, even your CCTV camera, your POS, your ATMs, your printers, your bus conductor जो ticket निकालता है आज is also processing data.
Correct.
Out of 10 such devices, 8 devices use Kingston chips in it.
Wow.
Globally.
Wow.
Okay, so pen drive is a very small thing. You know, it's something जहाँ पे, as I said, हमको सिखाना नहीं पड़ता कि pen drive कैसे use करनी है. We've moved from pen drive to a high-speed pen drives, far more storage within the pen drive, and now with the encryption where I can actually put a hardware encrypted password to it.
Wow.
Right.
इतना सब होने के बाद भी, sir, give me one person who does not have more than 3 pen drive or less than 3 pen drives now.
Seriously?
You don't even know how many pen drives you have.
Yeah.
गुम जाती है, भूल जाते हैं, ठीक है. I mean, gone are the days when I used to flaunt it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Gone are the days when people used to gift pen drives.
Yeah.
आजकल भी नहीं आते अब.
So I think
And
I think
I've
just to
started
add
with
to-
a 1
sorry.
GB pen drive, and I used to flaunt it.
Beautiful.
Like what I'm talking about, not 1 GB. Sorry, when I joined Kingston, it was half a GB, 512 MB drive. That was our fastest selling pen drive. और तब लोग जो हम events में जाते थे, तो proudly ऐसे present करते थे 512 pen drive and it has our presentation in it. Please have a look. हम लोग क्या करते थे? Presentation delete करके वो pen drive use करते थे. वो कहानी होती थी. आज अगर मैं आपको मैं बोलूं यार मैं आपको 16 GB की पेन ड्राइव दे रहा हूं, ये एंड ऑफ लाइफ है ना, इसलिए दे रहे हो ना.
Correct.
That's how it is, right? So pen drive will never die. Micro SDs will never die. But to answer the question, yes, pen drive, the market looks smaller, but guys, trust me, the number of users have increased.
Beautiful.
Repetitive customers बहुत बढ़ गए, और आगे जाके cloud is something which we are anyways focusing.
Got it. Done. Awesome. I'm going to sum it up.
Sudhanshu was saying something.
Yeah, Sudhanshu.
No, I was just saying the example that you gave. Now, I agree with you because till date I may use cloud as much, but I'm still backing up most of my stuff on my hard drive.
Absolutely.
Hard drives.
Yeah.
I'm still saving it on my hard
नहीं,
drive.
मोबिलिटी है ना यार. अगर आपको आपका एक प्रेजेंटेशन भी किसी को देना है, you are not going to give a cloud link every time. It's there on your drive. यार कर लो अभी वैसा. And now you can access it on your phone, like dual drives, OTG drives. It's something which comes to your phone and that's done. Mobility factor comes in.
Beautiful.
And my first pen drive was 128 MB. I remember that. My first pen drive was 128 MB.
That's why I said I used to flaunt my 512 MB drive.
I'm actually, not flourishing, but I'm like, I have product ideas like here, there, everywhere after what you said, Okay, they could actually, and I don't know if there are, but even if there are, even better that, mobile pen drives, yeah. I don't know if there are, but
there are, absolutely.
There
mobile
are
pen drives.
Yeah, mobile pen drives.
For example,
there are Type-C pen drives.
Data. There is so much
Yeah.
data that actually needs to move from Android to iPhone, from iPhone.
Imran, for how long you know Vishal now? If you're asking whether
He
we
knows
have
me as a
mobile
gamer.
pen drive or not, I am judging you. Judge him.
नहीं, इमरान को मैं पेन ड्राइव नहीं बेचता हूँ, उसको मैं गेमिंग हेडसेट बेचता हूँ.
Gaming headset में से.
The ASP matters, 300-400 रुपए की क्या प्रोडक्ट देंगे. And this 1K group 400 रुपए की बात भी नहीं कर सकते हम अब.
Awesome.
And I
Like
learned
Anu is a complete, like, I'm not going to sleep tonight. She is the one who calls for 3 different, products
I
from
do that,
different places.
Because I'm so, like, for example, I buy a lot of body shops, so I know I'm going to keep the product, right, irrespective, but I want it early, so I'll order it just to see it. And as a consumer, I'm very aware. I have to see which all discount, which all websites are giving, and then I go to their brand website and I write, this is not fair. Why are you giving more discount there? Why are you giving less discount here? Because of myself.
You've become a very tough customer for everyone now.
Yeah.
But she is actually a customer which I face these days, because there are certain customers. I mean, off the session, there are completely websites which actually show you that this product is available for which discount on which website.
Yes.
That's a
Imran, you want to
business.
take up, you
As a
want to take
business-
that as a first product from 0 to 5 lakhs? All of us would be happy.
Again,
Right, so Anu, but yeah, Anu has shattered something for me also. Yet, why is she ordering 3 products? I know people who order 3 from 3 different websites the same product, but even she's doing
Yeah,
that.
you know,
all
there,
you
there
have
needs
to-
to be
yeah.
there needs to be an app for you.
I'm also a consumer, yaar. Apart from me being professional. Apart from me
But so,
being a
Anu,
professional,
and
I'm
all
also a
3
consumer,
COD.
yaar.
And all
And
three
all
take
3 COD.
No, so whenever I'm buying from a new website, so let's say when I placed my first order on Nykaa, it was a COD order. I ordered a lipstick. But now since I have started getting कि okay Nykaa deliver करता है ठीक है, because you know it's a lot of यार मैं Amazon पे अभी भी COD करती हूँ कई बार मुझे ऐसा लगता है पता नहीं ब्रांड डिलीवर करेगा या नहीं कुछ और भेज दिया तो
Wow.
मतलब I have my questions like the brands which I regularly buy from, they're sorted. Like for the first time when I bought Myntra, I ordered it's like a rule book for me. Whenever I'm ordering from a new website, it has to be a COD. I don't care even if I have to pay extra 50 rupees or 75 rupees, but I want to see what I'm getting. And I make sure that I open the box in front of the guy and I'll open it. They're like, ma'am, open करेंगे वापस नहीं. मैंने कहा भैया रुको आप खड़े रहो. मैं तो खोलूंगी देखूंगी ठीक प्रोडक्ट आया नहीं आया तो फोटो खींच के रख लूंगी. कोई बात नहीं रिटर्न पिकअप करा लेंगे, but I have to see because yeah, it's a task. You know, you go through 10 different multiple websites, you select your favorite product, and you know when it comes, it's a disappointment. यार इतना time energy देने के बाद when the product, especially with apparels, and I'm sure Tanvi would agree with me. Yeah, it is so disappointing when you don't get your favorite top or denim or dress. It's like really disappointing.
Tanvi, what's your return rate?
Our return rate is at this point of time. So for this month, you actually just did it today only. For this month, we had like a return rate of 7%.
Wow.
Anu, please start buying.
Beautiful, yeah.
I have tried the
They
concept.
have
Please
that-
start buying.
Alia Bhatt also launched the same concept. Alia Bhatt also has the same concept. I've seen her website and
So Alia Bhatt she invested in
yeah,
a
she
company.
invested in that.
She
Yeah,
invested in a company, but again, those guys were just like, hey, we're gonna give you a stylist and they're
Yeah,
gonna create like personalized boxes for you.
but
So
I'm going to place an order, Tanvi, for sure tonight. You will
COD.
get an order from me. Don't stress.
COD.
I'm just
and I
gonna
make
COD.
sure, I know tomorrow is Republic Day, so everything is closed, but Thursday I make sure it goes out.
But I'll place a no. Now I know Tanvi, and I will take Tanvi is on the group, so I can message out Tanvi. So you know, I have not received my. So this happened with me. Momsko, I ordered something, and Sahil Nair was working with Momko. I knew Sahil via somebody. So when I placed an order, the order came like broken. I called Sahil. I said, "Listen, your brand is not doing well. Now, what kind of products you guys are sending?" I sent him a picture. He apologized. He sent me a new pack.
मैं आपके लिए
तो
एक
अनु,
ऐप बनाने वाला हूँ. I'm going to make one app for you जहाँ पहले product होगा, right?
Thank God. I thought he's saying, "Anu, मैं आपके ऊपर meme बनाने वाला हूँ."
नहीं, you buy that order will go to 3 places and money will stay with me. Once you receive it, then I'll give the money to the
That's
brand.
such a good idea.
Nice. Brilliant. So, Anu, one question now. Since you've already tried all these things, how many digital wallets do you have? I mean, and when I say digital
Everything
wallets,
you can think of.
so all your websites like Nyka's and Mintras, all your wallets would be loaded with money?
So I don't. So I usually do UPIs. I don't do wallet until or unless. So for example, Amazon, definitely my wallet, my Amazon wallet.
That's okay. Amazon Pay is like
Yeah.
a beyond
Nykaa, we
just the
have-
site.
I'm a girl, so I already know that every month this thing has to come. Let's say, you know, some face wash, some body care. So that also I can do a recharge. But everything else, no. It's like very
Okay.
much on the go.
So despite of all the various sites you've tried, it's not too much of wallet loaded kind
Wallet
of a scenario. Okay.
I think people
Okay,
avoid
okay.
wallet loading now. Apart from I
Absolutely.
think Paytm wallet, I don't think any other wallet works.
I think
I
people
think
don't choose
everybody has
Paytm wallet
realized
also
that it's
now.
pointless
UPI is
funding
I mean, it's decreasing, but like for example, certain companies pay back certain amount of your salary in
Yeah.
Paytm wallet. So that amount needs to be utilized. Like one of my previous company used to give certain amount of my salary into Paytm
It's your
wallet.
meal vouchers or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So it has to like Sodexo also the people used to give earlier.
Correct.
So you know
Correct.
that certain amount of wallet mein rehta hai. You go to a petrol
No,
pump.
but my question was when you do these returns,
Hmm.
a lot of e-commerce they also do a certain amount goes back to that particular wallet, and part of it comes to your credit card or your original
So
payment
depends from
mechanism?
website to website. So let's say if you have done COD now, then the money will go into their wallet. So let's say if you have done a
Correct.
COD on Nykaa, right, then the money will be gone to your Nykaa wallet. But if you have done
Right.
a card payment, then the money will return back
Goes
in
to
the
the card. Okay.
Yeah.
Got
But
it.
if
Done.
I am not wrong, I remember there was an RBI ruling that came out in 2018, which basically said that now the brands have to give an option to the customer whether they want the money in the wallet or whether they want the money to be transferred to its original form of payment. So let's say even if you've done a COD payment,
Right.
you can give the details of your bank account, the company can transfer the money into your bank
So
account.
yes,
There
there
was
is
an
the
RBI
payment
ruling which
service
had come
has
in for
been
that,
there on
if
the
I'm not
website,
wrong.
but usually what happens is when you ask for customers, so when you have done a COD and the customer says कि हमें बैंक में पैसे चाहिए, so there's a process. You have to
Right.
submit your bank details. The
Hmm.
brand has to
It's
do
a
it.
little risky.
Now everything has
Trust
been
factor.
digitized, so people say Google Pay कर दो यार, Paytm कर
हाँ.
देते हैं, हम लोग खुद ही कर देते हैं, हम कहते हैं बाद में देखी जाएगी, कर दो.
Done it. So, done. Great session. Thank you so much, everyone. Tomorrow is going to be another interesting one where we are going to select a product.
Wow.
Right? I've selected 5 products from the market. These are absolute commodities. All right. The definition of commodities, we'll get into it tomorrow. But amongst all of us, we've got to take a stand, come together, argue, fight, do whatever. But we've got to come to selecting one product that we will together take from 0 to 5 lakhs in 30 days. That's
Interesting.
what it is. Just so that everyone knows, no one has seen it besides myself, not even my wife, right? So only I've seen it. So this is going to be an absolute, we are going to discuss each and every product कि अगर ये बेचना है तो ये क्यों बेचना, right? We'll start with that. It's going to be a great session.
The immediate answer you give, this is not covered. Okay, I'll go to consumer court. That's what happens.
Plus, I will blast you off on social media.
Social media.
When I asked you for the first time, you said $400 और मेरे को इसको 1500 रुपए में बेचना है. ये 3 times price आपने क्यों किया?
3x, 4x is higher because
Flipkart approached us. We were not selling a single piece on Flipkart. So Flipkart approached us. Why not selling the same bag on Flipkart? We didn't know anything about how to do ads on Flipkart or things like that. So from the day when we started seeing 200 to 50 orders on Flipkart without doing anything.
You did nothing for this growth.
I did.
Chance से हो गया. You didn't answer my question. Would you carry this to your office?
This particular design, no.
Varun said is this product has seen double-digit growth in 2021.
I'm not surprised when you say it's a double-digit growth.